You dated Jenny, what's her name, Johnson?
Jenna Jameson.
Jenna Jameson, right?
Correct.
And she was a porn star?
She was, and she retired a year and a half before.
So did you know that she was a porn star before you dated her?
Yes, I did.
And so how did you meet her?
Through Twitter when it first started.
And so you looked at porn?
No, she actually reached out to me. She reached out to me, and I just got divorced at the time, and it was a direct message, and I was with my roommate, and I was like, dude, Jenna Jameson just texted me. And we went on a date, and after that, I just was intrigued by the person who she was. She was a very smart, intelligent woman at the time, beautiful.
Was it the sex that made you intrigued or the intelligence?
The intelligence, for sure.
Not the sex?
No.
And you fell in love with her?
Yes.
What was it like being in love with, because a porn star mean they had sex with everybody else and their daddy, right?
Well, there's a difference with her. There was that time, the beginning of her career, and then she was married twice. And her first one, she shot nothing but with him. Then her second marriage, she shot nothing but with him. And I come to learn that later on. But I look beyond
You said she
people's
shot what?
Shot the movies with her husband.
Oh, yeah.
For
Right.
the last 3 years or 4 years of her career. But I don't look on people's past as a mistake. It's not for me to judge.
So did you feel embarrassed when you went around your family and other people knowing you were a porn star, or did you feel proud?
I don't think I felt embarrassed. There was no time embarrassed because I say it's not my view to judge anybody.
But what would, I just want to, because I've never spoke with a guy who really dated a woman like that, had children with her, fell in love with her and all that. What is that mentality? Do you feel like, because I used to date this woman, I worked for a hospital, I met this black girl, she was fine.
Right.
It was the first time I really had a fine woman, right? And so I would intentionally invite her up to the hospital where I work and walk all through the hospital, showing off with her, right? Was it that kind of feeling?
Yes.
Oh,
for
okay.
sure. I don't get me wrong. I was completely in love, and she was a beautiful woman. She was a smart woman also, and I just come to realize that when we got separated, my therapist was like, Tito, you cannot save your mom. And at the time when we were separating, she had a drug problem, and my mother had the same type of drug problem.
Yeah.
And I thought I could fix her. I come to realize you can't fix a person. A person
That's
needs
right.
to fix themselves.
Yeah.
And
So
my
she was taking the
therapist,
place of your mother.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 100%. But my therapist told me, he goes, Tito, stop trying to save this woman. Just find someone to save you. And luckily, Amber came and saved me.
Amazing. Did you ever, so like now you have control over the kids.
100%, yes.
That's good. How did that happen?
I went through court. A lot of things that I found out she was doing towards the kids. We had nannies full time, 24/7. I was paying over $20,000 a month in nannies, and it blew my mind. And the first time I noticed it, when my son was, I think 3.5, and he fell and kind of banged his knee up, and he went to go reach for the nanny and not for her. I said, what was going on? And then I started finding out that the things are going through my home. People were in my house that shouldn't have been there.
Amazing.
Drugs were around my house a lot, around my kids. I went on a vacation with my oldest son, Jacob. He came with us. And one of the youngest, Jesse, picked up a Oxycontin from the ground, had it in his hand. My oldest son, Jacob, pulled it away from his hand. And she tried to blame it on me, saying that was my pills. And I've never touched Oxycontins in my life. And she was addicted to them at the time. And that child could have died if he would have put that in his mouth.
Well, I'm glad you got him, man.
And the California Justice Department gave me my children 100% because it was proven in court. The things that she did to my children, I can't let you know what it is, but it was horrible. The woman should be in prison right now.
So she doesn't see them at all then?
Zero. She hasn't been around them for almost 7 years now.
Has she tried to see them?
In the beginning, the first couple of years, she's tried to, but mentally and psychologically, she was not fit as a parent. She wasn't fit as a person in general. And I think the judge seen that, and the ruling that proceeded for me to be full custody of my children. And if she wanted to have a chance to see the children, she had to go through, therapy.
Nice.
I mean, I had to build up to make that happen.
Right,
She never took one step towards that.
Oh, okay.
But she went on
Good. They
social
went to
media.
father. That's fine.
I mean, she went and bashed me as much as possible in social media, just saying how horrible a father I am and this and that, to turn around and saying, "Oh, I'm a great father. Can we just please make ends meet?"
Yeah.
And I said, if you go ahead and you fix yourself, you're welcome to. But she hasn't had one step towards that, and that's where I stand. And
Do
I
they
think it's
ever
important.
ask about her? Do they ever talk about her?
Probably about 4 years ago, you know, a couple situations. Oh, mom said that she would be back, but not anymore. You know, I think they kind of get it, but they don't. Another great thing is they don't miss that mother figure.
Right, because
Reason
they have
don't-
their father.
Well, they have me, and they have
Because that's
their
why
mom.
the kids don't
Their
need.
mom now. It's not a blood related mother, but Amber treats them like her own.
Yeah.
And not being selfish, doing everything possible. Even when it comes to schooling, helping with their schooling. Cooking dinners, lunch, breakfast, getting up every morning and making sure they're at school. The thing that a mother is there to do, you know. I do the father job and she does the mother job, and we're a great partner and a great couple by doing this.
You know, and I understand the word partner.
Yes.
But I don't like that word.
Well,
Because partner means like those two gay people, they be doing the partner thing. I like the boyfriend or girlfriend, or husband or wife kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I understand what you mean by partner. I want to ask you, I read that your father and mother were drug addicts while you were growing up, right?
Yeah, from the age of 6 to 13. My mother and father were heroin addicts. My father started with heroin after getting his appendix out in the hospital. They gave him morphine. And then when he got out, he still had pain. And it just spiraled downhill after that. You know, it went from him using to my mother trying to using, and that is the most addictive drug in the world.
Yeah.
And it ruined our family.
Are you the only child?
No, I have 3 older brothers.
How are they doing now?
They're doing great. So, I mean, it was a blessing in disguise at the time. You know, when I was 6, my older brother is 5 years older than me. The next one is 8 years older than me. The next one is 10 years older than me.
Okay.
But they were with a guardian at the time that
Well,
we
both
left.
by the same parents, right?
No, my 3 older brothers were with a different father.
Oh, okay.
And then my father, I'm the only child.
Okay.
But when I was with their drug addiction, I was with them from motel to motel, people's houses, living on the couches, to a little small trailer. I mean, I went through a lot at a very young age. And they had a guardian at the time that still lived in Huntington Beach and took care of them while my parents went through a drug addiction.
So while your parents are going through this stuff with the drugs, were you the only child with them?
I was the only child with them, correct.
'Cause your brothers were put somewhere else.
Yes, they're at supervision. They had a guardian at the
Why
time.
didn't you go there too?
Because I was my father's kid. I think they didn't
Oh.
want to let me go. They want to make sure that I was with them. And it was a blessing in disguise because I think I saved my mom's life. And my mom saved my life too.
How did you save her life?
Because she wanted something better for her son. At the age of when I was 13, I was in a gang at the time in Santa Ana, F Troop. And
So you grew up in Huntington Beach?
I grew up in Huntington Beach to
California.
the age of 6, and then from 6 to 13, I lived in Santa Ana, California,
Okay.
which is a little east of Huntington Beach. And my mother, at the time when I was 13, I was in a rival gang, and a rival gang shot one of my friends and almost shot me. I jumped over the fence, and you could hear the bullets hitting the concrete. I ended up leaving. My friend got shot and killed right in front of my face by 12 gauge. And I told my mom, she didn't believe me, went back over and check it out, and my friend's getting carried away in a body bag.
Amazing. And what was that like for you seeing that?
It was scary, it was hard, it was, I didn't understand it. I said, why does this kid get his life taken? And it was due to ignorance of another gang, of a rivalry, that it was a payback, I guess. And I understand that this wasn't for me, and wasn't something I wanted to do. And my mother made a huge decision, told my father, either you get sober or I'm taking your son. And at the age of 13, she did that. She told me, you know, we're leaving. She packed up, she got remarried, we moved back to Huntington Beach, and she saved my life. And she saved her own life at the same time from me. You know, she got sober, and she had to go through a lot of detox, but she ended up getting sober. She hasn't used since.
Is she still living?
She's still living.
Your father too?
Yeah, he's 80, gonna be 81 this year.
So you were not a gang member yourself? You
Yes.
were just,
No,
you
I was
were
a
a gang.
I got jumped in, I got jumped out.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it was.
Meaning that you were forced in.
Well, no, when I first got in, they mean when you jump in is you got to walk down a line of 6 guys on each side. You
Yeah.
got to take punches and kicks as you walk through 12 of them. And then
Did you ever forgive your mother and father for letting you down while growing up? Did you forgive them?
I finally forgave my father just this, it was 2 years ago. Forgave my mother when I was 25.
Did you tell her that?
Yes, and she knows that. And
Did you tell her that? You went to her?
yes.
And what did you say?
You know what? I forgive you. I know you only did as best you possibly could do, but you changed my life by leaving Dad and giving me a different life. I mean, she was with him for over 15 years, and she got up and just left and was willing to sacrifice everything to give me a better future.
And did you go and forgive your father?
It took me a long time.
But you went to him?
I went to him.
And what did you say to him?
You know what, Dad? I know how hard it is to be a parent. I know how hard it is to be a father. I understand what you went through. I've always had questions.
And what did he say?
He didn't say anything. He couldn't fess up to the beginning, but when I said, you know what, I forgive you because I know how hard it is, and I love you, Dad. And he goes, son, I apologize, I'm sorry. And
amazing.
And the first time this happened was probably about 6 years prior, actually 8 years prior, and I did that, and I went to his house because I'd have nightmares all the time of asking why, and I finally said enough's enough, and I went to go see him, and I cried to him and asking him why, and he couldn't say anything. He had the blank look on his face, and he couldn't really own up to it. But this last time, he finally said, you know, I'm proud of you, I love you, and I apologize, and you know,
And did that change you when
oh,
you did
it changed me 100%.
In what way?
In a positive manner. It made me understand fatherhood. It made me understand how just human beings can respond to things in a positive manner or a negative manner. And the positive manner that I got out of it was, you know, my dad's proud of me and he loves me, and I haven't heard that in almost 30 years, and it was difficult. It was hard just to even walk up to his door in the beginning. You know, I sat in front of his house for a good 20 minutes, just
I understand.
trying to get enough courage to walk up. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna let this eat at me and hate forever, or I could accept and you know, accept my future with him.
I don't know if you know or not, but I have a nonprofit organization that's 30 years old this year, past February. And what we're doing is rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. And what we're showing all men is that they got to go and forgive their parents. Yeah. In most cases, they have to forgive the mothers because the mothers turn the kids away from the fathers.
Right.
She played victim, but and the father doesn't know how to handle that because you become like what you hate.
Right.
And so a lot of these guys became like their mothers, and so they become attracted to women who are just like mama, right?
Right.
And when they get with these women, they end up becoming boys, and the woman become mama, so the cycle is repeated.
Right.
So we show them how, we encourage them to go and forgive their mothers so that God can forgive them and renew their mind and love their fathers. With love means don't hate, right?
No.
Love their fathers. When they do, their whole life change.
Yeah.
They finally become men. And women become women too because they're not themselves. They resent their mothers. Right. So forgiveness is the way to go.
Oh, it is. It's huge. Like I said, it changed my life completely.
Yeah.
And I had to go through it. Was when I was with Jenna. I was going through the same situation.
Yeah.
There was drugs in the home. There was drugs. She was using a lot.
It repeats itself.
And I saw life repeating itself.
Yeah.
And either I go down the same thing, and you gotta understand, I mean, I own a mansion in Huntington Harbor. I have, you know, beautiful cars. I have
You
money in
own
the
a
bank.
mansion, you say?
Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
On the water. I kid.
I got to come and party at your mansion.
Yeah, right? I don't have parties anymore. I'm a responsible adult now. I got to make sure that the future of my children are number one. But like I say, I had a same idea was I had to make the same decision my mom made. And to sacrifice everything. Like I say, I loved Jenna like no other. I would have gave anything for her to stop doing what she was doing, but she didn't do it. And I told my mom, thank you. And she's like, why?
Right.
I go, I really learned from what you did. If you didn't do what you did for me when I was 13 years old, I would never been able to do what I did just recently for my children's future.